up. In class, someone asks me, "Did you hear about the bombs going off in school today?" No, moron. There aren't bombs going off in our school. As I say this, over the intercom we hear, "Please evacuate the school immediately and avoid all trash cans during your exit." Some seniors had put dry ice bombs in the big metal trash cans. We come out to police, fire trucks and bomb squads pulling up. One bomb goes off and the trash can shoots 20 feet in air. No one was injured. The seniors didn't get to participate in graduation. Kid kept crapping in his hand and writing messages on the bathroom wall with it. You'd be in class and hear the North Corridor bathroom on the second floor is now off limits and you knew. Edit. Yes. Your school had one too. Yes, you gave him a nickname. Yes, it may be a sign of abuse. Either the time a cop shot a man with a gun as a bunch of students watched, or the time some moron spray painted "There is a bomb in the gym" on the outside wall. Bomb threat jokes were all the rage. My freshman year of high school, 3 deer broke a window and ran around inside the school until a teacher chased them out. That teacher a legend. We had a chicken pen at our school. Big fence surrounded many chickens. We come to school one morning, and all the chickens have been beheaded, as well as a couple birds which have been stoned to death. In grade 8 my buddy Vinny brought a pregnant rat to school and it spawned a bunch of rat babies in his locker. There were rats everywhere that year. Easter egg hunt. In 1998, I think 5 people were injured. One had to be taken by helicopter to the hospital. I was never really sure of the specifics, but apparently some of the parents were trying to cheat and find eggs for their kids, instead of letting the kids do it themselves. This led to arguments and things got out of hand. Fortunately, no one died, and the school didn't ban Easter egg hunts. It just banned parents from it. The Great Easter Egg Hunt of '98. The mentally disabled kid went into an absolute rampage in lesson over someone sitting in his seat, and the teacher had to get everyone out of the room and lock him in there whilst support staff were called to come get him. Unfortunately, it was a science lesson and he had lots of expensive stuff to throw around whilst he was in there. Thousands of pounds worth of damage. That last line made me think of a bus full of kids going to fat camp crashing into something. Someone was making a meth lab in their locker. 2 guys were smoking pot in a bathroom and somehow managed to set a toilet on fire. In elementary school, the incident was when this kid named Alex stuffed paper towels into a soap dispenser and lit it on fire in the bathroom. The whole school was evacuated and major sheet was to follow. In middle school, the incident was a well-liked kid that most of us thought had it all decided to commit suicide. It was very devastating to so many of us in the school and really brought home how you never really know what struggles the kid next to you is going through. In high school, the incident was that a semi-popular kid was regularly getting it on with a teacher. It wasn't well known, but was whispered about. A friend of my brother's leveraged this to his advantage, telling the teacher on the day of the final exam, "I think I got an A in this class because I know about you and my friend, and I don't think you want anyone else to know." He got the A. A girl got pregnant on the 8th grade trip to DC. Was your school from Long Island? It was. We had some older chap from town crawl into the ductwork and peer through the vents into the girls' locker room. That's insane. Why did you guys have him do that? One of the math teachers was stealing those TI-83/84 calculators and selling them on eBay. In his defense, teachers don't get paid enough to have morals. Someone set Mickey Mouse's tail on fire at Disneyland during a senior trip back in the 80s and got the school banned for like 20 years. My senior was the first time we were able to go back for grad night. Kid that sat behind me in math class brought a gun to school. Didn't shoot anybody. Not really sure if he intended to, but got caught after bragging about it. Something similar happened at my school Monday. This kid brought a knife with him, a pocket knife I think, and was talking about it with his friends, some of which I overheard. Before I get the chance to tell a teacher, the principal came into class. walked him out of the room. And nobody's seen him since. We had 3 gom threats my freshman year. First one was some angsty sheet. And the last 2 were just because we got out of class all day with the first. Specifically, that first one was legendary. The school had no plans or preparation for this event. So we all milled around the athletic field for 6 ducking hours. Edit. School was in southern Maine. Sexting ring of 120 girls, pictures being passed around all the guys at school. Happened twice. 0 arrests as it was a rich private school and parents got involved. Also the teacher making people answer weird questions their classmates asked. Or the time a kid showed up in such a drugged up state that he passed out in class. Had to be rushed to the hospital. Was on an IV drip for a while and tested positive for 7 out of the 8 substances tested for. Didn't get suspended or kicked out. He was allowed to take his exams early and finish up about a month before everyone else. We had a mock car crash, where the local fire department and other emergency services simulated what happened at a car crash to drive home the point of driving sober etc after prom and whatnot. We had the whole school watching. Over 1,000 kids. One of the kids in my grade, early in the morning, took a sheet in a bag and smeared it all over the windshield of the car. Later that day when they unveiled the car from under a tarp, the sheet was everywhere and the whole crowd broke out into laughter. There were a few, but I think the worst one was when the senior class prank, vandalism, was to put we dug AskReddit on the football field to create a giant dome. It could be seen on Google Earth for years. Edit. It wasn't the class I was in. Just that it was a senior class. Full stop. A teacher got a student pregnant. He only had to change schools though because she was 16 already. Some students mixed the wrong chemicals in chemistry and the whole building couldn't be entered for a week. What country is this in? In America, one of the partners is in a position of authority over the other. The age of consent become 21. The catch-22 hate crime. Kid 1 got the sheet beat out of him in a fight that he picked. His rich parents sued the other kid in the school citing that it was a hate crime because Kid 1 was gay. Well, it all came out that mom and stepdad were suing mostly because the alimony settlement from mom's first marriage was drying up. We're talking at least 5 mil. They figured going the hate crime route just about guaranteed a big payout from the school district. It also came out that Kid 1's father was a multimillionaire and an extreme homophobe. So, Kid either had to admit to being gay and be disowned by his millionaire father, no chance at the inheritance, or throw his mother under the bus and proclaim his heterosexuality. My junior year of high school was like a damn reality TV show. This blonde girl had 2 guys crushing on her. She played them off against each other for all they were worth, reveling in the attention. They really disliked each other, so she encouraged them to fight, shirtless at her suggestion. One guy ended up badly beating the other. He broke his nose, fractured his cheekbone and cracked a rib. The guy on the ground was yelling for help. People had to pull him away from the guy before he healed him. Senior prank 2009. Someone put some fish fillets up in the ceiling of the administration building. Except they did it before Christmas break instead of summer, so it would rot for a week and then all the school staff would smell it when they got back. It took them months to figure it out since no one came forward to claim their deed. All the while about a third of the entire school student body has been suffering and breathing this dead fish aroma since the administration building is half offices, half arts department and classrooms. It was terrible and the stench still haunts me. Senior pranks aren't even a thing at our school, Mayo. My junior year of high school. Some girl got in a fight with another girl over a boy. They fought in the cafeteria and their friends joined and it quickly turned into a riot. Police came. One of the girls got tasered and parents were called. The kicker is all of the parents then went across the street to the gas station and started fighting before being arrested. High school teacher started to become obsessed with one of my friends. He started calling her at all hours of the night, completely drunk, asking her to come over etc. Eventually she had to call the police. Fast forward a couple days later. 3-4 police officers roll up on this teacher during one of his classes and arrest him in front of everyone. He was never seen again. The super popular elementary school science teacher getting arrested for child pornography. Everyone loved him, and also I'm pretty sure his daughter was going to that school at the time. Very unpopular guy tells very popular girl he wanted to be her vibrator. Stayed very unpopular after that. Yeah, I can't see that doing him any favors in the popularity department. It could have went one of two ways though. There is always that off chance someone hears it and thinks it's hilarious, and then he's known for that for the rest of his school career. Someone wrote on a bathroom wall, "School go boom on." Date. They evacuated the school. Had the police show up. Searched everywhere for bombs. Didn't find shit and nothing blew up. Edited for you ducking meme lords. Dude ducked a goat his senior year. His catchphrase all through HS was, "I'm such a redneck. I duck a goat." Well, he proved it. History teacher shagged a 6th former on one of the classroom tables. We all knew which room, but not which table. Here's a hint, it was all of them. This is why we leaned back in our chairs, haha. There was a riot. A bunch of kids painted loads of graffiti on the wall of the main building insulting the headmaster and various other teachers. So the school cancelled our graduation party. Consequently, once everyone's exams were finished, half the year, that is, about 100 people, went to various pubs and got drunk. Then some rabble-rousing took place and we all convened on the school to demand our party back. Things were thrown. Windows were broken. The gates were shut. The police arrived. It made the newspapers, etc. You can go back over our school's exam statistics and see the percentage of pupils who got good grades in their A-levels, English high school leaving exams. If you scan down the years, there's one very noticeable outlier. We were a bunch of little sheets and that was the culmination. Good times. There were so many incidents in my school that it became commonplace. Kid crashed a Lambo into the entrance. Science lab burned down. Ceiling collapsed and many more. I'm a teacher and currently trying to break down a rubber ducky black market ring. I teach high school. I have high schoolers about to graduate and go into college. The same students are buying, selling, and trading rubber ducks. A guy had his pen 15 out in the track team photo in the yearbook. It's debatable, but apparently true. It's a grainy bandwa photo. Ironically, that guy just retired as a career officer in the Navy. He was apparently very well respected. Race riots in the early zeros between Native Americans and Latinos. Fights broke out all over the school. Students throwing soda bottles and food from the top of the quad to students down below, about a 30-foot drop. Students had to be taken to the hospital with injuries. Towards the end of the year, while everyone was at lunch, one special ed kid took another special ed kid, with less cognitive function, into the faculty lounge and sexually and physically abused her. She had bruises and bite marks and shit. Apparently similar things have happened to her before at past schools. And the guy had committed similar acts too. Instead of actually doing anything about it, his parents, or maybe the police, just kept moving him from school to school. It was really sad, and early on this year, when word got out about what happened and the news started reporting on it, about half the school decided to wear the girl's favorite colors one day and have a protest, demanding justice for her or something. School got cancelled that day. I haven't heard anything about the incident since, but that's the weirdest thing that's happened to me so far. Someone was writing messages on the walls of the boys' bathrooms in human sheet. This went on for months because they were trying to figure out who had been excused from class each time this happened. But that didn't work because it turned out it was two people alternating sheet smearing duties, so the other one would have an alibi. I remember in like year 8 all the guys in middle school got brought together in one room to discuss the fact someone had smeared sheet all over the bathroom walls. That was fun. Our assistant principal was kind of a doucher. To try and humiliate him, we bought a dildo and inscribed it with our school mascot and that if found please return to Mr. Dusha. We then slipped it into the ice machine while in line for lunch. The cacophony was deafening when it was found. A lunchroom worker pulled it out with tongs and held it up and away from her, almost like she was displaying it for all of us to see. A coach who was watching the lunchroom saw the writing, and upon further investigation, he busted up and turned red. Quite the time. He never caught one of us. So Mr. T from Bixby. Okay. F you.